Welcome to Twi'lek Talk, a Star Wars podcast.
Alright, everyone, hang on. We're coming out of hyperspace.
Welcome to episode 1 of Twi'lek Talk, where we talk everything Star Wars, canon, legends, movies, TV, novels, comics, toys, etc., etc. It's February 3rd, 2017. Some may refer to me as a scruffy-looking nerf herder, but I'm just a guy trying to make a credit. I'm Rob Solo. Also accompanying me, Sarisu Master and Force User, Old Ben.
Now, that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Voiceover.
Seriously, though, I'm really excited to be part of this first episode of Twi'lek Talk with two of my buddies, and I think we're almost ready to make the jump to hyperspace.
Yeah. Next to him, practitioner of the Sith Order and dark side user, Darth Dillon.
Hello.
So what's up, guys? Yeah, episode 1 of Twi'lek Talk. We're always at work. We all work together, and we're always talking Star Wars at work. And one day we're all just like, hey, why not just record this and make it, something that fans can listen to? And that's where we came up with this idea of Twi'lek Talk, right?
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, and it's always been something that, like, Rob, you and I always seem to get into conversations about whatever theory we've heard one day, like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if, and then I forgot, well, you had done podcasts before, and that sort of snowballed the idea of, hey, we should get something going. And then Dylan came on board, and then it started to become more a reality. We did some background work as far as what we want to, what we want to present, as a podcast. And here we are today. Cool.
Yeah. Me and you, Old Ben, always talked Star Wars at work when we were supposed to be working. But
Don't tell.
Darth Dillon one day shows me all these pictures of his Star Wars action figure collection. And I was like, wow, I didn't really know you were such a fan, And that's when we started also getting in depth with Star Wars talk at work. And it kind of just fell into place after that,
I personally, I wish I could do more with the action figures, but money is pretty like a big deal.
You got quite a collection, though. You got quite a collection.
Little bit. I mean, it's mostly new stuff. I wish I could have went more into like the original lineup of the figures, but it's a fun hobby, and it's just like when I look at my wall, it makes me happy because it's something I love.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're all Star Wars lovers.
Jedi junkies.
Jedi junkies and blue milk drinkers.
I love blue milk.
Oh, I love it.
Blue milk protein shake this morning.
What Star Wars sources or do you get into for your entertainment? And where did you start out with Star Wars? Let's start with old Ben.
Well, my first step into a larger world. Star Wars basically has played a huge role in my life. It was my first introduction to creativity, basically. Princess Leia was my first crush, and it taught me, like, it's the weird thing to say, but it taught me how to play make-believe, which is something as you get older and become an adult, like, we forget to do, even though obviously, jobs and responsibility, but it's good to keep that kind of thing going. But as far as memories, I mean, I can remember when I was like 7 years old, and I loved Star Wars so much that I wouldn't respond to my parents if they called me by my real name. They had to say like, Luke, come to dinner, and then I would respond. I'm serious.
That's good.
And I remember going to my grandparents' house and my grandfather playing the Star Wars, soundtrack on vinyl. Yes, kids, we had vinyl, and it's coming back. It's retro, so check that out.
Yeah, it's been back for a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
people love their vinyl.
And it's created a lot of like friendships and bonds and everything. Like my family is really into Star Wars. Like my older cousins, we grew up on it, and that's what, even to this day, like we'll still go to, conventions, and just check out all the latest stuff going on. So yeah, it's definitely played a huge part in my life.
And you're into a lot of the new stuff as well. now
Yeah.
that they've really been really pushing out some Star Wars content since Disney took over and the new canon started in April 2014. So
It's exciting. Yeah.
very exciting. I'll take all the Star Wars you can give me.
I mean, even Star Wars Land coming out, next year. I mean, it's they're doing an awesome job since they've taken over. They're really just fortifying, and continuity wise, they're really just trying to build this universe after having so much. Here's this thing for this, and here's this for that, and here's for the games, and here's for the comics, and here's for the novels. It's like, let's just combine our efforts, put everything together so we know what's going on and we don't confuse people anymore. So it's great.
There's
A lot of people love to complain about all the like they're milking it. Fucking bring it.
Yeah, right.
It's like better than nothing. We're getting nothing for a while.
But they're doing it in a smart way, though. You know what I mean? Like, they're not just they're not just putting it out there. I mean, believe me, they're trying to sell toys, they're trying to sell merch, but they're doing it in a way that's like, it's clever. It's a creative storytelling. It's bringing out, it's expanding the universe.
Now, think about this, guys. We had the original movies, which Return of the Jedi was 1983. And then how big of a gap in between that and the updated version, the special editions when they were released in the late 90s? Right? Am I right?
Right. Yeah.
And look at that gap. And then in between that, you had a couple years with the prequels, but then after the prequels are finished, you had a big gap as well until The Force Awakens. And although you had certain things to fill in, like the Clone Wars animation and Rebels and stuff like that, you still, movie-wise, had a big gap in between the originals to the prequels, and then in between the prequels to The Force Awakens Episode 7. So now we're never going to see another gap like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're talking rumors. They're talking they're going to have 2 movies a year at some point. That might be, for me, that might be overkill. I don't think that they should be putting out that much. I mean, there's a limit, but I think right now, they roll out, I think the other day they had, Lucasfilm had registered something like Star Wars Rivals, which sounds like a video game probably, but it's, they're continuing to try to, expand things and, add new elements to the universe. And that's cool. But of course, you can oversaturate it as well. So
I saw they're going to be doing the Han Solo standalone film in May of 2018. Right. And they're definitely going to release something else that December probably. So it's like it might seem like a lot.
Well, that's December, isn't that episode 9
of 2018?
Am I wrong?
I think that might be 2019.
Oh, you might be right, Darth Dillon.
I don't even know.
He's using the dark
Hopefully
side.
It'll make the something else December. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Honestly, guys, I'll take 2 movies a year.
I mean, believe me, I'll be the first in line if there's 2 movies a year.
Me too.
I'm just
see
saying
anything.
that,
totally.
I would hate, yeah.
Old Ben, would you see Rogue One in the movie, like in the movie theaters? How many times?
Only 4 times.
And The Force Awakens.
8 times. I think.
8 times.
Well, hey, it was the first movie since Revenge of the Sith, which is what, almost how many? 10 years? Something like that, yeah.
Over a little 11 years? 11 years maybe? 10 years?
Yeah, 05, yeah.
So yeah, that's that gap I'm talking about. I honestly, I'll take 2 movies a year. I'll take 5 novels a year. I'll take all the comic books you could throw at me because I can't get enough of the blue milk. Darth Dillon, how about you? What sources do you get your entertainment from in the Star Wars universe? And you being a younger lad, what started you out on Star Wars?
Well, I guess I could start it off when I was younger because right now I'm 19. I sound like I'm older when I'm 19.
Young Padawan.
Yeah, Padawan.
Much to learn.
I just remember when I was really young, my good friend AJ. I don't really talk to him much anymore, but when we were younger, I think I was in like This was really young. I was in kindergarten, and Revenge of the Sith came out. So that's how young I am. But
Wow.
That's crazy, right, old Ben?
yeah, it's
I
crazy,
feel
right?
very old suddenly. No, I did.
So I was no, it wasn't. It was like second grade or something. And my friend AJ brought over into class this action figure from. Now looking back, it was from the Clone Wars animated series, like the original one, like the actual animated series. Um, and I just remember looking at it and like being really curious about it.
Are you
like
talking
seeing
about real quick? Are you talking about the Grandy Tartakovsky or whatever?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
the volume one and
yeah,
volume two.
Samurai Jack style.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so I saw the action figure, and I guess that's where my love for like Star Wars action figure collecting started. And I just remember seeing the lightsaber, and I thought it was so cool. Like it was something unlike I'd ever seen. So I started like asking what this was from, and he told me like it was Star Wars. And I went over his house, and he had like buckets full of these toys,
Nice.
and
Wow.
we just play with them all the time. Like I remember he had like a lot of Attack of the Clones stuff, and like Revenge of the Sith was just coming out. So I went to Toys R Us with my mom, and she like I was like blown away because they had like the Darth Vader voice changing helmet, and I had to have that, so I made her get me one.
Of course you did, you sis.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And from then, I guess I just saw the film. I remember seeing it with my dad, Revenge of the Sith in the theater, and I just thought it was so cool. Like at the moment, that was like the best thing I'd ever seen up to that point in time. Looking back, I still do like Revenge of the Sith. Not as much as like some of the other films, of course,
Yeah.
but I think it was
Oh, yeah.
good for what it was, despite some like gimmicky things. But that's a whole different episode.
You like The Force Awakens a lot, right, Darth Dillon?
I personally, I think when I saw it, I had like my Star Wars geek glasses on, like my but yeah, I did. I was really sucked into it, and like that whole release. I think I look back on that whole release as a whole, like to be an amazing experience. Right now, if you were to tell me you wanted to watch The Force Awakens, I'd probably skip out. But
Oh,
at the moment, it was very good.
There's a lot of conflicted views on The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that's where you're at now, and you recently delved into the Clone Wars, right?
A little bit. I'm like I said, I'm still a baby, like a Padawan.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of watching it. Probably after tonight, with all this inspiration, I'll go in and finish like a bunch of it. But when it was on its original run, I watched it when I was like in grammar school.
Yeah.
But
When you were a youngling.
When he was just a
yeah, when I was a young
You've
one.
only got until what is it? The 7th of March. They're taking it off of Netflix.
Yeah.
oh boy, you better cram it all in. Then.
You gotta cram it. You gotta cram it. You got some. Wait a minute. We're in March. Oh, you only got a few days.
I'll figure it out.
If you need to leave the podcast early, we'll totally be. I'd be
I'm
understanding.
not allowed on this podcast. Until
I'm
I
totally
finish Clone
freaked
Wars.
out that they're
Nice.
taking it off of Netflix. To be completely honest, I always sometimes I'll just be chilling and I'll delve right into some Clone Wars, even though I've seen it. But it's kind of freaky. So yeah, I would say indulge in the
Oh
next
yeah,
couple days.
I got past the point where like they had like an animation breakthrough. I feel like the first season and like the movie they did was I couldn't
Oh,
really
the
get
movie,
into it too much.
Like season
But-
2 or 3, they kind of gotten more crisp.
Yeah, it looks good, and like when I've seen the screenshots and like everything from the later seasons, it looks like beautiful.
Yeah,
So I'm excited. It's definitely like a journey.
it is
Cool.
definitely it's an adventure.
Yeah,
The Clone Wars, I love it.
yeah, and then we got what else? Rogue One, I loved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I love Rogue One. I'm very excited for the DVD Blu-ray release in April.
I was just looking at that. Yeah.
April 4th, I believe.
Now you
Wow,
wonder
that's soon? That's
because
great.
the you know, most of that movie, well, a good part of that movie was reshot, and you do wonder.
Mhm.
they probably won't do this, but do you wonder if there's ever going to be like a different director's cut with everything that was taken out that they changed? I doubt it. I'm sure it ended up on the cutting room floor, but I'm really curious to see like what I mean. In articles, they've said that again, this tonally wise, this was supposed to be a completely different movie than what it became in the final product.
I thought about this recently, old Ben, and
Yes.
honestly, I loved Rogue One so much. I don't even want to see the version without the reshoots. I don't. I think it's such a totally different movie. You know, when you see those little clips of them running along the beach with the plans in their hands, and like
Yeah.
certain things that were totally cut out of Rogue One. I just I liked it so much. I don't want to see it in any other way, but I get why diehard fans would probably want to see that. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, but I'm thinking that the DVD is definitely going to have some really good, even the stuff on the ILM with Tarkin and Leia. I mean, I think that's going to be really cool. I'd love to see.
Oh
There
yeah,
was
definitely.
there was that really short like ABC did this this special on how they were able to recreate Tarkin and Leia, and they showed a
Oh, I didn't
very
see that.
quick.
You
I
didn't
don't think
see?
I saw that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They if I find it, I'll send it to you. But they did it. They showed a very quick clip of Guy Henry who portrayed and did the voice for Tarkin, and they showed his actually his audition really quickly, and it just looked really cool. And I'm just wondering if they're going to show any of how much of the behind the scenes stuff they're going to show because this movie, it's almost like it had to be new, but it also had to be retro. You know what I mean? Like it had to harken back to this had to look like what would happen before the events of New Hope, but you can't
Yeah.
just, it can't just be that. It has to be a new approach to it. So,
I'd have to say it felt quite retro to me. I liked the feel of the
Oh
movie.
yeah.
When I saw The Force Awakens, like Darth Dillon said, it was the hype of a a relaunch of the Star Wars movies, beginning with an episode of what was going to be a trilogy. Um,
And I know
what
you weren't even like at the beginning. I remember you needed to see it a second time.
Yeah,
Right?
I,
It
I
was
I like it now. I love it. The first
you do.
showing,
Okay.
yeah, the
mm,
first showing I didn't fall in love with, but when I saw Rogue One in the theaters, and I've only seen it twice, uh, it felt like it filled that
Oh man.
emptiness in me.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
just felt.
I'm feeling that now, just thinking about it.
Yeah,
That
and I'm
was
really
great.
excited. I'm really excited
More
to own
homework.
it and be able to watch it continuously because I
It's
thought it was a fantastic film. Fantastic.
I think it's really a piece of art, uh, more so. And it's some people say it wasn't really like it didn't need to be made. Like I've heard that argument before, but I feel like it answers one question that was like completely left out of A New Hope, and like how they actually ended up destroying
Yeah.
the
Right.
Death Star, and like I think that's awesome.
The opening crawl was that, rebels steal the Death Star plans. Really? Okay. And it wasn't the Bothans. I mean, they did steal something later on, but
Yeah.
If it didn't need to be made, that's a ridiculous statement. It filled one of the biggest plot holes in Star Wars universe, you know?
Oh
right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
built I'm not, I don't know if you guys read Catalyst, but it's really satisfying to delve into the world right before Rogue One and understanding the Urso family in general. And like I
Mm.
love Jin, I love Galen Urso, and I love Lyra just because I read Catalyst, and I totally going in to Rogue One was such an adventure for me because I was already attached to these characters.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we can all mutually agree though that Borg Gullet stole the show.
Yeah. Totally.
That's all. No, I'm just joking.
So Darth Dillon, that's a lot of that. Like, what are you looking forward to? You know, in the future now that you're more involved with
Oh
this.
yeah.
Like what are you looking to get into?
me personally, I'm
What are you
really
excited
looking
about?
forward to The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because there's so much mystery surrounding that right now. Like I read like the leaked stuff and like everyone's different. And I'm like, these aren't real.
I
But
try to avoid that stuff because you
never know, though.
invariably someone, some of that is some truth to it, and I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to The Last Jedi. I'm looking forward to actually reading these things that are already in existence. So I can't really look to the future without going into the past somewhat.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like the Clone Wars and Rebels, I still need to finish those. I really, with the video games, I'm into the video games. If they make like I know they're supposed to make like a Darth Maul video game. That would be so cool.
That would be.
Just to like
Yeah.
if they have a where you could just freely use his saber skills and just go on like a bunch of hits. That would be so cool.
That would be.
Because I know they were supposed to make it, but they scrapped it.
Yes, I did know about that.
Right.
And it looked
Yeah.
cool from what I saw.
Some of the gameplay
yeah, it
they
looked
showed
great.
online, yeah,
Looks
it did.
fantastic.
And then they were supposed to make Star Wars 1313, which was just
Boba
like a
Fett,
real gritty action game, like third person shooter. But that looked great. If they brought that back, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't know you were a gamer, Darth Dillon.
yeah, a little bit.
Did not know that.
Not too much, but I like Star Wars games.
Yeah.
Like Knights of the Old Republic, I loved.
That's good because you can bring the gamer side to our Twi'lek Talk podcast because I know nothing about the games. I think Battlefront looks cool, but that's you know, and I played Knights of the Old Republic a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but that's about the extent of my gaming.
Yeah, for me, I watch all the
Mhm.
cutscenes on YouTube.
Yeah,
I
oh,
just
I
love
love
the
those.
story. I mean,
Yeah, they're great.
Aren't they great to watch those movies on YouTube from the video games? And
I mean, Force Unleashed. I mean, obviously that's not quote unquote canon anymore, but that's such a great story.
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess just the new films, like if they can make a I really one of my favorite scenes in Rogue One, I've said this before, is when Cassian Andor was in the that one city, and it just looks like that the way it was shot was so cool.
Oh
And,
yes.
Oh, Jet.
he-
Okay.
He's,
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
in the
Yeah.
beginning.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's got that guy, and he shoots him in the back with his blaster, and then he just completely betrays him.
And that was taken
I just-
from Blade Runner.
Yeah, but I'm saying that was
inspiration.
real
Yeah,
Blade Runner
that's
kind
what it
of feel.
reminded me of. Like if they make a Blade Runner-esque Star Wars film, something like that, like I don't even know, like if they do like a bounty hunter smuggler type thing, that would
Yeah.
be
Well, you
really
gotta
cool.
wonder, talking about that, the Han Solo movie coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe they shoot some scenes on there. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
That Rob
Yeah.
Solo film's gonna be awesome.
Rob Solo.
Rob Solo, yeah, it's gonna be you up there.
You know what I like? I like that they showed that even the rebellion, they have a side to them that they're gonna do whatever it takes to win. And I like that with the new canon, they're advancing more into the eyes of the Empire, people who worked within the Empire through the novels and stuff to show that it's not just black and white. There's a lot of gray there. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it's all about a certain point of view,
Yeah. No, but they say too. I mean, they always say like the mark of a good villain is one that doesn't think he's evil and is doing things, for that he or she feels for a greater good. And that's the great thing about Star Wars is that they're able to create these villains that, think they're doing something good, but they aren't.
I saw a thing recently that kind of made a lot of sense to me in the sense that with The Force Awakens, with Finn coming out and breaking away from the Empire, taking off his helmet and like showing himself like humanized in a sense, even though he broke away from the Empire, humanized stormtroopers, which is something that had not happened really before. Maybe in the EU, there's legends,
Yeah.
but not
Right,
in
yeah.
movie form or even animation form. Well, excluding the clones. I'm just talking
Yeah,
about
it's
stormtroopers here.
Right. It's a different. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's good that, like, as people who were into Star Wars for quite some time, it's almost like the canon, it's evolving with the the reader or watcher, in the sense that there's a lot more gray. It's not just black and
Yeah.
white. Like the original trilogy, it was like good versus evil, dark versus light. Where now with a lot of the new canon and even the prequels, there's a lot of gray, and I like that. And I like that they're humanizing stormtroopers and showing you, even
Right.
through like the novels, like the Lost Stars or whatever. They're showing you there's people who work within the Empire who see like what they're doing is good, and they're doing it for what they believe is right.
Right. I mean, but of course, with the stormtroopers too, is that one of those stories was that the reason why so many people signed up was because of, pride for the empire. A lot of them didn't know what they were getting into.
Yeah.
They were just looking at it like, hey, this is I'm serving my, the empire.
Like Wedge.
Yeah, to better my better my family or my situation. I mean, it's as explained, like Luke was pretty close to signing up with the Imperial Academy at one
He
point
was,
before he got,
That was
taken
his
on a different path.
Yeah, it was his way of getting off Tatooine.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't thinking
Can you
like, oh, they're
imagine?
doing evil things. It was like, that's a path I can take to, better his situation. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of gray going on there. And you're right. Yeah, the novels do shine a light on the fact that it isn't just black and white, and there's a lot of individuality that they're finally bringing out with the new Disney Lucasfilm canon stuff. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I like it. Some of the we'll get into me, Rob Solo, now with how some of the things I love about Star Wars and what got me started. Um, I was really young, and I used to play with the original toys. That was kind of like the first toy I can even remember playing with was Star Wars action figures. They weren't mine; they were my uncle's, but I stole them and I would play with them. I also
Sounds good.
I also had a R2D2 toy trunk, which I kept all my toys in. And
cool.
my mother
Nice.
took me to see Return of the Jedi in the theater when I was about 5.
Oh man, that must have been so
Yeah.
cool.
I remember it vaguely. I don't remember it that clearly,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit older, so I do remember it. And I remember at the end, like, wow, a spoiler alert, everybody. I
Yeah.
can't believe Darth Vader is a good guy in the end.
Yeah.
So that was really
Yeah.
funny.
I was excited when the special editions came out in the late 90s. That kind of brought me back into, some more Star Wars to be done, but really wasn't happy with some of the stuff. Han shot first. And
Yeah,
then
and like when
Jabba.
Han walks over Jabba's tail,
I didn't,
Well,
yeah, I
goes
didn't-
up 3 feet.
didn't like that very much, but I do love a lot of the stuff. Actually, I think Empire had a lot of positive things with Cloud City and whatnot, and seeing out the windows. When the prequels came in, I was very excited. I remember I was a manager at a store at the mall, and my friend went and waited online to get tickets for opening night. And I remember it was summertime because he came back sweating like a dog. And I was like,
Right.
yo, bro, you get those tickets? And he was like, yeah, man, I got those tickets. And we were mad excited to see that shit. But I remember sitting in the theaters, and I remember this distinctly. At times, I was thinking, this is a little off. Like, this pod race is a little long, like the
Yeah.
spectators are they sound like I'm watching the NFL or something. Like, I don't know, there's certain things, and don't get me wrong, I love a lot of things from the prequels. I'm not one of those haters. Qui-Gon Jinn's my main man.
Oh yeah, Liam Neeson, dude.
He's great.
Well, I
Yeah.
consider Liam Neeson to be Qui-Gon. I can't call him Liam Neeson.
He's Qui-Gon to me.
He is.
I
Yeah.
love Darth Maul. There's certain things I love. There's a feel now that I kind of like. Some of the dialogue's off. Some of the scenes are a little long, a little wacky. But all around, I like the prequels. Clone Wars was something I got into a little bit later after it had aired. But I did love the Volume 1 and Volume 2 with Darth Dillon mentioned earlier with the Gendy Tartakovsky stuff, Samurai Jack guy. You know,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, but Clone Wars. As soon as I started watching it, it was like it was. I was hooked. I was hooked. That's where I met my first love, Ahsoka Tano.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna go on like a thing with
Oh, we've
like
been
a
in love.
girlfriend or something.
We've been in love ever since, me and Ahsoka.
You can't even get a hold of Rob on Tano Tuesdays. You kidding me?
Tano Tuesdays. Rebels.
Tuesdays.
I love Rebels. Chopper is actually my favorite droid at this point. I think he is fantastic. I think Chopper's great. I read a lot of the comic books. I'm delving into the novels now. I read Catalyst. I like in the process. I'm halfway through the Ahsoka novel. The Darth Plagueis novel by James Luceno is really great. I would hope that maybe eventually we get some more Plagueis canon.
Oh yeah, that's
Seriously,
another thing
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Plagueis the Wise.
Yes.
Great. They got to do some more stuff with him. There's still rumors about like Snoke or whatever. I don't know if that's debunked.
Oh, I thought
But,
it was Mace Windu. I don't know.
I thought it was
Yeah,
Jar
Mace
Jar.
Windu.
Wasn't it
Yeah,
Jar
yeah.
Jar?
That's yeah.
No, Mace Windu is
nah,
Darth Plagueis.
I totally think that Snoke is a not to jump off topic for a second, but I totally think Snoke's a new character.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later though. It's a whole thing.
I watch a lot of the YouTube videos of me and old Ben like a lot of the YouTube videos and stuff. They're really fun to watch. And
They got some interesting stuff.
they do, right?
Yeah,
And
some of the theories they have like the Mace Windu one and Jar Jar Binks.
I
is
love the
Sith
Jar
Lord.
Jar Sith.
That
love
is,
it.
I actually
yeah,
when I watch those films, I think that and only that.
I like that, Darth Dillon. It's because you're a Sith.
Maybe.
And I listen to podcasts as well. I like, I listen to the Collider Jedi Council, and I listen to Rebel Force Radio. I'm into a lot of that stuff, and that's where I get my Star Wars anyway. Star Wars has been a big part of my life since I was a child. My nana had the VHSs, betas. I used to watch the originals.
Beta, wow.
Yeah,
Dylan,
we're going back.
I'm not sure you know what a Betamax is.
Darth Dillon probably doesn't know what a Betamax is.
I know what a beta fish is.
I don't even know what that is.
Close enough. Yeah, it's like kind of like that, but not at all.
Yeah.
All right. Does it swim?
Well, they're probably at the bottom of the ocean about now because no one uses them anymore.
No, they got beat up by
so
VHS.
it all relates to each other.
VHS
Yeah.
smoked it. So that's my side of my Star Wars past, and
It's
I
beautiful.
hope to one day possibly be a Force wielder.
I think you're already there.
I practice every day.
Yeah.
Old Ben, I know you're a green saber wielder.
That I am. Yeah, that would make me a consular, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's actually canon anymore. So
Well,
That's
it's canon in my
That's that's
from
the
my
color
point of
that
view.
came out when you wield it when you built your saber. I'm a blue saber wielder. Darth Dillon's a red saber wielder, and
I like yellow.
yeah, I like yellow too.
I think it looks
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It does. It's different. So that's the Twi'lek talk. Get to know you little game we like to play.
segment of our
Segment.
show.
We'll take a
Great.
break. We'll come back right after this, and we'll talk a little bit about what we're looking forward to in the future of the Star Wars universe.
Looking for a galactic getaway that can't be beat? Why, look no further than the most exciting planet in the core world, Alderaan. I'm Mook for the Imperial Tourism Board, here to bring you this incredible deal. Enjoy a 7-day and 7-night stay in the modern and luxurious Aldura Royal Palace, or enjoy a hike in the Jurin Mountains. Book now for 2,000 credits and the additional 15 when you reach Alderaan. This deal won't last forever, so make sure to visit Alderaan right before it.
Welcome back to episode 1 of Twi'lek Talk. I'm Rob Solo. Hey guys, what are you excited about for the future of Star Wars? Old Ben?
Well, funny you should ask, Rob. But no, it's funny. Well, ironically enough, I really want to see an Obi-Wan Kenobi standalone film.
Yeah.
I'm biased maybe because Obi-Wan and Luke are my two favorites, but like Ewan McGregor has all but said that he's been talking to Disney and this is something he would want to do. And I think it really presents like a unique opportunity to tell a really cool story. Because if you think about it, all of these standalone movies so far have had their own different theme. Like Rogue One is a war movie. They're saying the Han Solo movie is going to be a Western in space.
Yeah.
And with an Obi-Wan movie, I really think they could tell like a personal story of his struggle adjusting to this new role that he has on this, harsh desert planet, because he went from being Jedi Master, Clone Wars general, hero and everything to like losing everything, like losing his family, losing Anakin, losing Satine earlier on. And
That's the story to tell, right?
Right. And if they do it right, if they tell it like this, I mean, they can really paint a personal picture of somebody that's lost his way and trying to find himself literally in the desert. And
from the high ground to nothing.
Yeah.
There's the title, Obi-Wan, from the high ground to nothing. But and how like his responsibility like shifted over from being this important person to watching over this boy who's going to someday make a difference in the galaxy. I think the comic books have already, pointed at this is the direction they would go. And I think it's just, it's a no-brainer. Put it on the big screen, make it like, give it that kind of, put it in that context where it's all about, Obi-Wan trying to figure out, where he is and what he can do. Because, in the comics, he so wants to use the Force. He so wants to continue to help, but he realizes if he does, he's endangering Luke. He's endangering himself. He's endangering the future of the Jedi. So I think that's what I would want to see if they're going to be, making more of them. Well, obviously, they're going to be making more movies, but if they're making more standalone movies and continue, going through material that we know, characters that we know, that's what I'd like to see.
Well, that is in the talks, and I'm actually right on board with you. Would love to see some Obi-Wan solo movie. He's got such an in-depth drama story, and just watching him having to deal with, being on Tatooine and again, like giving up everything he knows, as in like using the Force or anything like that, and kind of going underground. I think it would be great.
Yeah, paint a picture of him being like, he's got to find some inner strength. You can definitely throw Dylan's favorite guy, Qui-Gon, and your favorite too, Rob.
I love Qui-Gon.
Oh yeah, they could. I mean, both actors. Ewan McGregor, I personally loved his performance in Revenge of the Sith, and
he was one of the best parts of the prequels. Him and Ian McDermott, who played the Emperor.
Yeah, they were great, and I would love to see Ewan McGregor back on the big screen. Maybe throw some Qui-Gon back in there.
I would like to see some Qui-Gon flashbacks. Yeah,
it's just so much potential now that we're talking about it. Like, it's I didn't really think much about it before you said that, Ben, but that's really cool idea.
Yeah. So basically, Disney. I can give you my address after the show's over. I can tell you who to make the check out to. I mean, that's me. But yeah, I that's what I would like to see. But overall, I think that, like we touched upon before, I think that Disney and Lucasfilm are doing like an awesome job with continuity, with bringing together all the mediums, the films, the books, the comics, the animated series, and I also like to see them. And they're doing it too. They're bringing back extended universe characters like Thrawn. And, that was one of the big characters that when Disney had bought Lucasfilm, people started, wondering, the rumor mill kept on, started going like, hey, well, are they going to bring back this character? Or what about that? Or that happened. Is that going to, so a lot of people are speculating as far as what, was extended universe stuff. What are they going to bring back, and how are they going to bring them back if they're going to? So that's another cool thing. So
yeah, I think it's really cool to like have that level of like, you don't know what you're going to get with what's canon or not. Then when it's released, you're like, oh, it's so cool. Like there's still a level of like wonder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Think
Really
about
cool.
when Thrawn was dropped for Rebels. People shit
Yeah,
themselves
people
over
They
that.
flipped out.
lost their
Yeah,
I
shit
I personally
themselves.
think that they were very clever in what they did. Like a lot of people don't realize, but it's really cool that they're bringing this new canon thing in because we have all these. Of course, there's like a lot of graphic novels, a lot of books, a lot of games, a lot of fan things, but a lot of those aren't canon, and it's really just cool
Yeah.
to see what's going to come.
I
from that.
like the way that they're going so far. I mean, since Disney took over in April of 2014, I've been paying close attention and I've been delving more into the Star Wars universe. It was a fresh start, especially for people who, weren't lucky enough to grow up with the original trilogy. Maybe it's a nice starting point for them
Oh yeah.
to branch off into the Star Wars and really delve into the characters.
Right.
You're excited for the Obi-Wan, being an original character and stuff. Dark Dylan, what are you excited for the future in Star Wars? Like what to come, whether it not
Uh,
be something that was announced or what you would want to see.
yeah. The more I think about it, I think we should scrap the idea of an Obi-Wan film and just make like a
Hey.
man versus wild Obi-Wan. Replace Bear Grylls with Obi-Wan and show
Oh,
him like doing
you
all
can
that.
kick Obi-Wan kick Bear Grylls' ass. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Like we're gonna see Obi-Wan eating, I don't know.
Out there in survival mode,
Yeah, survival mode.
eating.
No, I'm excited for that. Like if they make that, which is just blows me away to see Ewan McGregor back on the big screen. It would be cool to see. I know people are talking about the Boba Fett movie coming out. Personally, I think that's pretty cool. We don't know much about Boba Fett. It's cool. I'd rather see the Obi-Wan film. Even maybe like a Qui-Gon Jinn thing.
Oh yeah.
Like anything with Qui-Gon. If they did like a special or something, or they're making a Netflix. There's a petition for a Old Republic Netflix series,
Oh yeah.
and I think
Right.
it surpassed the
Did it?
petition. I think it did, like the signatures.
We're talking about
So-
Knights of the Old Republic.
What's that?
Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would bring that into like a Netflix series. It's pretty much just completely fan driven. But maybe if they see that, they'll do something with it.
I think
think that would
Disney
be
does
cool.
pay attention to this stuff.
Oh,
And
certainly.
I think it'd be cool because Rob, you and I talked about it. I mean, they could just easily have a pretty decent budget, and you can have like Game of Thrones in outer space kind of thing with
Oh yeah.
feuding,
That would be great. I'd love to see
clans
that
and
if they
stuff
did it
going
well.
against one another, and Jedi and Sith, old school, getting involved with a lot of the wars and stuff. So I mean, it's definitely could be a cool thing.
It would be like Netflix does a great job with their shows too. Like love Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's a different topic, but that's cool if they did that.
I could totally see that happening too. So
Yeah, I could
Netflix
see
is
that.
tearing it up, man. I love Netflix. I'm all about
That's
it.
great.
Uh,
I miss
Yeah.
the like when I was young. I went to Blockbuster in Hollywood for like the first like 10 years of my life,
yeah.
and that was I missed that because that was like a really prominent part in my young childhood. So it's kind of sad for me to see like that deteriorate, but I really do love Netflix and what it has to offer.
You don't have to leave the house anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I could just
Just to
if
go
I
to the
want to
theater
right now. I could turn on something.
If I was gonna say some of the things I was looking forward to, again, the Han Solo movie. At first, I wasn't really on board with it, to be honest with you guys. But now, after seeing the cast pictures, I don't know. I'm kind of getting hype about it. It could be good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I
no,
think
I
it
mean,
could.
it sounds like they're gonna have a good mix of characters. It looks like they're gonna bring in. I don't know if Woody Harrelson's gonna play Garrus Strike, but Garrus Strike, by the way, for people who don't know, in the novels is Han's mentor, his father figure, basically this crime lord that takes all of these orphan kids and basically, turns them into little criminals.
Yeah, I think that's
But,
who he's
yeah.
gonna play. I think that's his part.
They
Yeah,
chose a
has to
good
be.
actor. Woody
Yeah.
Harrelson's great.
I
Oh,
love him.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kingpin, come on.
Oh, I love that movie, the bowling movie. I'm excited for the Thrawn novel. Actually, that's coming
Yeah.
out. I think that's something I might really have to delve into.
Me too,
Um,
definitely.
The comics, I'm a avid reader of all of the Marvel comics at this moment. I'm really enjoying those. That's something that's pretty cool that you're getting the Star Wars universe in every medium. You know, like you got the movies, you got TV shows, you got comic books, you got novels, you got toys.
It's everything.
That's what we're here to
Yeah.
talk about, right?
And the thing that I love too, like with Marvel, they have different branches of it. Like they have all of their superheroes. With this, it's just one main stream,
Yeah.
and it's just
Right.
branching off.
There's
Yeah.
talks of DC. I'm sorry, Disney.
That's DC talk. Come on.
There's talks of
It's a
Disney
DC podcast.
kind of creating their own streaming service where you could find all of this content alone by, like where you can get it all in one spot. I don't know if that's going to do away, or maybe it has something to do with Clone Wars leaving Netflix, but that's kind of like a rumor. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, someone's gonna pick it up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's too popular. Obviously, it's a Disney property. It's gonna end up on Disney XD at some point, maybe. I'm guessing.
Well,
I don't know.
I think,
Isn't that why like they moved from the Cartoon Network to Netflix?
Well, I think Disney is in talks of creating its own streaming kind of
right.
thing.
That's yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
Where like they're streaming all of these shows, everything Star Wars from this one site, which would be cool. I don't want to pay for it, but it would be cool, you know?
But
Yeah,
I
it'll
will
probably cost
if
money.
they make it.
It probably will cost money. I pay extra every month just for Disney XD so I can watch Rebels.
Now that's
Yeah.
a fan, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, I don't watch any of the other extra channels. The only thing I watch is the Rebels on Saturday night.
You don't watch Miley Cyrus?
No, I don't watch any of that.
I
But,
think I saw you watching that one night. I was looking in through your window.
You peeking my window, you creep.
Maybe.
Enough of
I'm
Why?
excited that with the upcoming Star Wars celebration, there's a couple rumors going around. Have you guys heard about this? Them announcing a new animated series that's going to be coming out.
There's
Oh yeah, I heard about
talks
that.
of it. Yeah.
There is, right?
Not that it would mean anything to me. But
I'm very excited for it.
I'm curious as to what you guys think. What time period that if they're going to do that? Because it looks like, again, rumors that after this season of Rebels, there's going to be one more season, which they're actually I hear they're wrapping up right now.
Season 4, yes.
It'll be season 4. What the new series, if there will be one, what it is and what time period it'll be. I personally, I'd love to see what would happen between Jedi and Force Awakens.
That's what
I
I
was
was
just gonna
thinking.
say, yeah.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
could be
there
cool.
are so many. That's 30 odd years of, where was Luke while all this was going on? How did Kylo? You know what I mean? I think a lot of that stuff might be explained in novels. So I don't really know. I mean, I think they will have to probably. If I were them, I'm not them. I would probably move forward as far as if you're doing another animated series. Let's see what goes on past a lot of this, as opposed to let's jump back to the
Well,
what
there
had
is
happened,
nothing in the novels that covers that time period. Is there?
very Lost Stars. Isn't
Lost
that-
Stars takes place from A New Hope-ish time period, and then after Return of the Jedi, and it ends
Okay,
kind of
but
there.
it does talk a little bit about Luke and as far as him and Kylo. They kind of vague references as far as them traveling and
Okay, yes.
So there are, but basically, yeah. I mean, definitely let's explore terrain we haven't seen yet. So that's what I think.
Yes, it would be nice they put out an animated series after Return of the Jedi and into A Force Awakens. And they could run that for a while. They could run that for a lot of seasons.
Yeah, 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
To be
can.
realistic,
Yeah.
they'll put out an episode a day.
I'll take anything animated. I'm a huge animation fan. That would be really cool to see. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to also the conclusion of Rebels. If they do end it in season 4, I'm extremely attached to every character. I love them all. I'm very excited to see who lives, who dies, where they go from there. We obviously know that Hera survives until
And
Rogue
Chopper.
One, and Chopper in Rogue One or a little bit after. Who knows? Did Hera could have died in Battle of Scarif, right?
Shh, no, dude. Come on.
She could have, you know.
No, she didn't.
But did they mention her after the Battle of Scarif or before?
Before.
Yeah,
But you did see, but you did see the ghost. I mean, you did see it at one point when they were, launched the attack. But
yeah,
yeah,
you don't
I mean,
see it after.
Yeah, no, but there were ships that escaped. So I mean,
oh yeah,
it's-
she could
yeah.
definitely survived, but she may have died in the Battle of Scarif. Chopper, nah, that motherfucker's surviving. He ain't going nowhere.
he's hanging
around.
out in the outer rim somewhere.
He'll
just
be
to
around
chill.
in episode 9. He'll make an appearance in episode 9 and future animated series.
What do you guys think of the Star Wars theme park that's coming out?
I know I'll never go, but I think it's cool.
You're never gonna go.
I don't fly. I don't
You don't
fly
fly?
around. Nah.
Road trip.
Yeah,
How many hours does it take to get to
Where
Florida?
exactly is it?
it's gonna be
It's
Universal Studios,
So
right?
it's in Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah, I've been to Florida.
Yeah, they're building like it's gonna be basically like I saw a map and it's basically gonna be like a who's who of every single spot. Like there's a Hoth spot, there's a
Oh my God, yeah, that's
Tatooine
awesome.
spot. There's gonna be the cantina. A life.
I'm looking forward to the
size-
cantina
yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I personally, I hope they have like the aliens in there too, because that's one of my favorite parts of Star Wars in general is the cantina and what
Yeah.
it brings, and just the grimy alien creatures that you see in there. It's just so cool, and it's just a level of mystery.
They said that it's going to be very interactive. I mean, you're going to, Disney, I don't know if you guys have ever gone to Disney, but it is pretty like the characters are always walking around. They said this is going to be such a, you're going to be so in this world. It's going to be like you walked onto, the set or walked onto this planet and there are all these
Awesome.
characters
I
and
might
stuff.
have
So
to make the trip for
it's-
that.
I mean, but it's going to be jam packed. I mean, that's why they're building. That's why it's going to be such a big park, because to accommodate the crowds that are going to be going to, for this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy. They'll probably have a interactive board gullet.
Oh, you and the.
Borg Gullet. You Borg Gullet,
That's your.
yeah.
We're going to call you Dylan Gullet
Dylan Gullet.
Yeah. I'm trying to get that title.
or Dylan.
I'm
Poor
trying to work
Dylan.
up to that title.
You like that guy, don't you?
One
you
day.
mentioned him
One day.
before.
I guess I do.
Yeah, you always bring him up.
He's on my mind. Yeah.
but
Did you guys
There's-
like that part in the Rogue One? I thought it was good. I thought it was all right. I know a lot of people
At
gave it
first,
crap.
I was freaked out. I was like,
I thought it
am
was
I,
kind
am
of
I watching the same movie? 'Cause
I liked it. I liked it.
I think it brought a completely different shift to any of the movies. Like we never seen anything like that, except for maybe the Sarlacc. But
yeah,
it was weird.
it was
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Star Wars universe is vast. You never know what you're gonna get.
canon and extended.
Yep.
There you
What are you guys happy to see for Star Wars celebrations in April? I don't know if you've been paying close attention, but it's from Thursday. What is it? It's the whole weekend, right? Old Ben?
Yeah.
Uh,
yes, yes, it is.
And do you think we're gonna get a Last Jedi trailer?
I think because last year didn't we get a behind the scenes and a teaser?
I hope they don't do that.
Mm.
I think we're gonna get it behind. I think we're gonna get it behind the scenes, but I think we might get because so many people are clamoring for it. Last year, it was a bit of a letdown. Besides, them announcing the Thrawn novel and the Rebels trailer, there wasn't much fanfare coming out of that. And I think that Disney probably sees that, hey, you know what? A lot of people were talking that it wasn't making the impact that, maybe they thought it would. And I
Didn't really
think
hit
that
the spot, yeah.
I think there has to be some sort of exclamation point with this one. And again, I'll go back to it. How cool would it be at the end of, Celebration, they bring out Ewan McGregor to announce there's going to be an Obi-Wan standalone film. I'm just saying.
Wow, I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah.
That would be great if he just came out.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think that, there's going to be, I do think that there's going to be a trailer for Last Jedi.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think there'll be a last trailer for Jedi, and I think there will be something to do with on the animation front, as far as whether it's a trailer for season 4 for Rebels or an announcement about what they're doing post Rebels. One of those two.
Either or. I'll be happy with either or.
Right. Yeah.
But we're definitely we're gonna get a trailer, right? We're gonna get a trailer.
Maybe they'll just release it without any trailer.
Last Jedi trailer.
They'll give us our red font, and we'll have to
or Force Friday.
Determine.
Maybe that's far away, but
could you imagine the
Friday.
backlash of fans if they didn't release even a little teaser piece of The Last Jedi at Celebration? People would flip their shit. It's in Orlando, Florida. People are gonna flip their shit, right?
I think they'll release one.
They have to.
They were pretty they just released. I remember we were at work and I showed you they released the new name, The Last Jedi. And
oh yes, you showed me that.
Which is plural, by the way.
Yeah.
Plural. It's plural. I was so happy when I saw that. I didn't even care about the name. I was just happy we got something. But the red font is getting me. I don't know if this movie's going to be really dark or what's going to happen. People are saying Luke might shift or Rey might shift or something like that.
At this point,
I really don't know.
If Luke shifts, that would be weird. If he could resist Darth Sidious,
no, he's not going to. I don't think he's going to. I think if anything,
shifting.
Like we talked about, it's going to be more of a gray. He's going to learn that, hey, you know what? Maybe that was the fault of the original Jedi Order, was that there was such an emphasis put on we've got to be completely on the straight and narrow. We've got to be completely in the light, and that blinded them. So, if anything, I think Luke is going to embrace both sides, but keep that balance. So,
well, I thought that too, old Ben, but then a lot of fans were like, what is Star Wars without the Jedi and Sith? And I was like, you know what? I don't know,
Well, maybe it's going to be a new kind of Jedi Order. They could still be called the Jedi.
If they're still called the Jedi, that's something.
No, I think you can't get rid of, because they're saying well, maybe the Sith are no more because, Kylo is now leader or was leader of the Knights of Ren. And is Snoke really a Sith, or are they just dark side practitioners that are not true Sith? And I think that if Disney and Lucasfilm would just toss aside and just say, yeah, they're not really, Luke and the guys on the quote unquote light side are no longer Jedi. I just think that Star Wars would lose something. I think there's easily a way to keep that title, but at the same time, changing with the times and making it more, feasible for things right now.
I have to agree, old Ben. We always
That's why I'm old Ben.
You're wise old Ben. We always need the dark and the light side. There's always the good and the bad. Even though there is a lot of gray in between, you still need to establish the Sith and the Jedi.
Yeah.
If you're going to continue Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I agree. I totally agree.
And, personally, I would definitely be gray. I would be a gray Jedi. Me and Ahsoka would probably get married and forget the Jedi ways.
Remember, attachment
is humanoid children.
But yeah, we'd be gray. We do our own thing.
Have a very gray life.
So yeah, that's some things I'm excited about. Actually, Do you guys follow the Marvel comics at all?
Yes.
A lot of the Marvel comics. I was hesitant at first, but I'm actually quite enjoying reading some of these Marvels. The Kanan comics are fantastic. I like Kanan Jarrus. I'm a huge fan again of Rebels, and it's so cool to see him in his earlier age coming about, and then that like flowing into Rebels continuity. That's really cool. I like the regular Star Wars run. I don't know if you guys follow that at all.
Yeah.
You do follow that, right, old Ben?
I follow everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. That's just about all the stuff I'm into. I collect a little of the action figures. I can't really afford a lot right now.
It's hard. It's a really hard thing.
It is, right?
I bought a wave of the Rogue One figures, and it was like $60 for
Wow.
like 5 figures, and that's a good price for that. But it's just, you know, if you're not willing to put aside the money like per paycheck, and I'm also like eating, like trying to buy my own food, it's hard to do.
Blue milk.
Yes.
Blue milk, baby. That's
Drink
the
your
way you
blue
gotta
milk.
go.
Yeah,
It's
blue
not,
milk.
it's,
I just need to set it aside.
You get all your vitamins and minerals from your bantha milk.
True.
Yeah.
Like I said, I make bantha shakes.
You make
Oh,
bantha
hey.
shakes at home?
yeah, it's great.
That was great, guys. That was awesome. Twi'lek Talk, episode 1. That's our
Yes.
the end of our first Twi'lek Talk. For those of you who listen in to Twi'lek Talk, you can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, or email us at twi'lektalkpodcast@gmail.com.
Please email us.
Yeah, email us.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know if you have any topics you might want us to discuss in the show, because there's a lot more to come. You know, if you have any
If you want
questions,
Dylan's recipe for bantha shakes,
if you want Dylan's,
Yeah, I use whey protein.
there you go.
no way.
No way. Old Ben, thanks for being a part of
Thank you
our
very much for
first.
having me.
And Darth Dylan, thanks for being a part of our first.
Of course.
And till next time, tune in. Twi'lek Talk Podcast.